I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a I'm an idiot. 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 I'm oh oh oh. Okay, yeah, it works. I gotta turn this up though. Volume, please. Turn it all the way up. Sorry. I guess that means I could take. I was gonna say I could take Skype calls, but I don't think so. Here, let me see. I don't can't turn on no tail. See what Mixer's doing today. Now. Yes, I want to go live stream. That would help more. I want you more, yeah, da, girl, da, Whoa. Press this button. I'll press the button. I wanna win. I wanna win the race. Elvis, gotta win this race. Gotta win. Lemonade. This skills thing is kind of cool. Base whale is 2,000. Zippy zaps. I'm getting myself a slice of pizza. Yeah, boy. All for me. All right. Enough of that jibby jabbers. Zibby zappies. Get myself a slice of pizza. I have like, how much gamies do I have? I forget already. I have 71,900 lightning chibi chargers. I don't know what they're called. I just know that they're kind of cool. Let's make. All right, chat. Got 4 minutes to dip it to that. What you gonna do when I come for you? What you gonna do in '92 when you know we had fun in '91? Was that spontaneous? Boom, dun 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 dun. That's one of the dope. I before we begin, I'm a hip hop head. '90s. What other hip hop is? And dude, when Spontaneous came out, I don't know if y'all know what Spontaneous is. Spontaneous is a track that has Leaders of the New School. I got some glue on my hands. Leaders of the New School, Tribe Called Quest, and a whole bunch of other people that was associated with two of them, mostly leaders. But I was like, yo, and the beat was like, doom, 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 I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up real quick before we start jibby jamming on the flippy flappo, the zippy zap zap. Icon boy, thank you for the robot hamster kitten. What is that? I don't even know what that is. But thank you. It's kind of. Is that a cat or is it a gerbil? I don't. All right, let me find a Spontaneous. Doom, doom. Not much so much trouble. It's the last Boy Scout. He's in it. No doubt. It's the last Boy Scout. That's what he sounds like. Not making fun of him. Got a unique sound, but not really. But yeah. All right. Spontaneous. Let's spell it. I know I spelled it wrong. Yep. No, I didn't actually. Spontaneous worship song. How about song? Spontaneous combustion or what is this? Okay. Actually I did spell it right. Spontaneous and I guess I gotta go Leaders of the New School. Ooh, there it is. There it is. 13 MCs deep. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, but you can't hear it because I don't have it going through my. But it's so good. Ah. Spontaneous. Schism, bigotism. Oops. 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 Oh. Track. Ooh. Oh, it's ah. Read it. The last Boy Scout. Ooh. Bad words. Bad words. Don't pay attention to that. Oh, that's right. This is all leaders. There's no tribe in this one. Who did the last verse though? I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was Buster. Remedy Man. Oh. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin. I think that was another offshoot group. And me to turn you on. I like it. I'll wait for Buster. I'm sorry. Spontaneous. Oh boy. Okay, this is probably the worst part of the song. This is the worst part of the song. But here's that's Milo. He's alright. He was like the latest dude in Leaders. I didn't like him too much though. He's alright though. Charlie. There's Charlie Brown. Huh. 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 Here I am. It's a shame what happened to them. Charlie. That's Milo. He had a good flow. He just never got the props, so. Yeah. I think he might have been the second best in Leaders. Here he comes. Yes. Ooh. Oh yeah, he was the last one. Ooh. Spontaneous. What up, y'all? It's the R9Cast, the official blind edition Coco Crystal Super Dope Show for Reservoir9.com, representing allgames.com. I'll be Esgee, aka Stephen D. Gibson, aka Electron Bandit, aka the guy who forgets words and names. Tiger Claw's in chat. He's in Discord and he's saying stuff already. 2 movies came out over the weekend. The Grinch and Overlord. Did you see those 2? No. I'm not addicted to Hollywood like you are, Tiger Claw. Also, I want to see Overlord. Also, I'm probably going to see it alone because Bridget will not be down with the rated R goreness. And I didn't realize it, but I found out that Overlord is actually part of the Cloverfield universe, if you will. And I was like, oh, snap. Actually, I got spoiled. I got spoiled that was an actual Cloverfield movie because I was watching an interview or something with somebody, and they said, oh, yeah, J.J. Abrams got a horror movie coming out, Overlord. It's the sequel to blah, blah. I was like, well, what? This is a quick little blurb. He just spit it out like it was like common knowledge. I was like, oh, snap. So I'm like, you know what? I've seen everyone except for 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is probably the best one, arguably say. I saw the first one, and then I saw the one in space. What's that? I can't remember what that one was called, but with the satellite and the freaking reactor in space and the different. It's crazy. I was like, you know what? That's pretty good. That was a pretty good sci-fi / horror type of movie. Pretty good. So I said, Esgee, it was rumored to be. J.J. Abrams says it's not. Of course he's going to say it's not. He's the master of not letting secrets out. You don't know that already? Come on, son. It is. If JJ, yeah. Think about it. Anyway. So, and I want to see it because it's interesting. It's like a different take on World War II and all that stuff. And like, I guess the Nazi perversion of body modification. What's the best part? Well, how's the best way to say how the Nazis were super into, just making their race the best race or whatever, getting all the advantages. So I guess they were doing crazy experiments. You ever see the video with the, I think it was German scientists. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they decapitated. This is a bad. Okay, just cover your ears, hide your children, hide your nieces and your nephews, hide your sisters and your cousins. They decapitated a puppy dog. It wasn't a puppy. It was a grown-ass dog, but it was a dog. And they kept the blood flow to the brain, so they kept the dog's head alive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't just like chong and then do it. They put it to sleep, and then they did it. So it wasn't as humane as it sound, as inhumane as it. No, it's still inhumane, but it's not as inhumane as it sounds. But it's still like, how do you fix that? I mean, technically, it's possible that they could keep the body alive, and the head alive separately, and put them back together. No, they couldn't do that because they severed the spinal cord. I'm stupid. That's like, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I admit it. I know it, and stuff. I got construction adhesive on my hand, so that's not doo doo or anything or dirt doo doo. It's just glue that will never ever come off unless I scrape the layer of skin off, because it literally says on the thing, this is for cement. This is not like liquid nails, which is tough but not that tough. This is cement liquid nails basically. So it's like, yeah, this is not come off. So it says on the packaging, hey, don't put this on your skin because irritation and don't come off. I was like, oh, okay. And of course, when you're messing with concrete blocks and cement and goop gop, you're not paying attention. I don't wear gloves and stuff. Like people I work with always wearing gloves. Like, what are you? You guys got hand modeling jobs? I don't know about. Huh? That's you moonlighting as a hand model, like Joyce Costanza over here. But no, they just, I don't know. They don't like paper cuts or something. I don't know. Oh, by the way, my paper cut did heal. I don't even remember what finger it was on. It was on this one. Yeah, I've got all kind of cement and stuff in my fingernails. I'm pretty gross right now. I mean, I'm not dirty. I got cement and stuff already. All over. Anyway, happy birthday to me. It was my birthday yesterday. I appreciate all the birthday wishes and stuff on Facebook, which I never really go to, so I guess I have to go to there till later today and be like, oh, thank you, everybody who gave me the wishes. I'll do that. Because you're supposed to, even though it's like the day after, which is fine. I'll do it later tonight. Um. So what did I get? I got this. I get the question mark block from the games of Mario-ness. Know what's inside of this? It's a Super Mario type of thing. 2016. This is 2 years old. 2-year-old candy. It's candy. I think it's lemon flavored. I didn't open it. ASRM. BS and does that sound good to people? Wait, I don't know if that sounds good. It doesn't smell like a flavor I want to put in my mouth. But I like the tin. The tin is dope. It's just a tin, but it's embossed. Tin. Simple things. But no, we got she bought the Incredibles 2 Blu-ray, and I was highly upset. Appreciative and upset. I was like, look, never buy Blu-rays. Always buy UHD. I was like, and she was like, oh, but we asked the man if they had, this was the best one. I'm like, don't ask for the best one. Ask for the 4K version. Ask for the UHD. Okay. That's fine. It still looks pretty. All right, here's the comparison, if you will. If you will indulge me for a second. First of all, Incredibles 2 is dope. Upon seeing it again, it's better than the first one. At first, I was like, I think the first one's better. And there are moments in the first movie that are like, yo, like I said, the dash part where he does his solo run, that's dope. And then when Mr. Incredible was like gonna crush the girl, but he was weak because he wasn't strong, but he's strong, but he was weak because it was family, blah blah. Anyway, second one's better than the first one. And why? Well, first the animation's better. They went all out. The whole Elastigirl with the Elastabike scene with the train, that was dope. That was crazy dope. I was like, oh, there was some parts that made me like, it's like, oh man, that's so cool. You're like, oh man, you're just smiling like, oh snap, that was like surprise. It smacks you across the face with cool. And you're like, oh man, that was so good. Another part, I like Dash's character. But like when he was running like Void, when all the superheroes were under the control, spoilers, under the control, mind control, under screensaver's control, and Void made the portal infinite loop basically, and he was running through it, and he's like, what's going on? He had Jack, and he was running through it. That's some good parts. And then like when I saw it in the movies, and I saw Void versus what the heck is the girl's name? I forgot what the daughter's name is. Void versus her. I thought that was a dope fight, but then I saw it again upon second viewing. I was like, oh, you know what? That's not the best part. I thought it was dope, but no, that's not the one. But the Jack versus the raccoon was dope. That was funny. That was pretty funny. That still held up. Yeah, man, Brad Bird knows how to make some movies, man. Brad Bird, y'all might be sleeping on Brad Bird. And you'd be like, oh, this movie is trash. Oh, this movie is good. If you look at, like, Justice League with the Zack Snyder movies, and then you look at Brad Bird, Incredibles, Iron Giant, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, I think it was, which I think might be his weakest movie. And he did Ratatouille, and he did some other stuff I don't remember because he's been an animator since he came out the womb. Basically, I mean, I think he was 14 when he was actually quote unquote working at Disney. He wasn't working there; he was doing just a program that didn't exist. He was like the first one, basically a mentorship type of program. He was like the first one, and he was doing traditional 2D animation because that was back in the day. There was no Pixar. Actually, Pixar did exist, but they weren't doing what they're doing now. Anyway, yeah. So, but what my point originally was that did I even start the all games? I didn't. Hello, welcome to the R9 cast. I forgot to press the button that makes the thing go boom. So now I have done it. Let me pull up allgames.com. I always like to check the make sure that this is, by the way, this is allgames.com if you don't know. Don't you don't know, now you know, blah blah. This is the allgames.com site. This is where you go. Allgames.com/live. This is where you go. You click on the thing and you go in the thing. Let's see what it sounds like. Make sure. That's me. Okay, you shut up now. Thank you. I told myself to shut up. I could do that. Yeah, there we go. So, I think I still got cement in my hair. Anyway, yeah, so Incredibles 2 is pretty incredible too, also. And Icon Boy was in Mixer. I don't know if he's still in. It says Mixer is confusing. It's not that confusing. It's just different. It's dope. I like that they added the skills or whatever. You can put like whales, space whales, and all kind of little icons and stuff. Like I was watching. We're gonna get into it. Watching XO18, the Microsoft event for Xbox. It's like an Xbox fan fest, basically. They had it in Mexico City. Now, first I want to comment on all of the negative. How do you say? The negative commentary on YouTube. You go to YouTube and it says XO18 so boring, XO18 failed, blah blah. I'm like, and then I realized this is what's happening. If y'all don't know, I'm gonna tell you what's happening. YouTubers need views, right? That's common knowledge. YouTubers need YouTubers need views. They need news to talk about, but they also need views. Yes, Billy. Okay, XO18 is part of the Cloverfield universe. Exactly. No, that's not why. And at the end it said, "Bam, Obsidian." You already knew that though. And NX, whatever that other studio is, because I don't know about RPG strategy PC games that much. But anyway, YouTubers need views, right? And certain YouTubers who were Xbox centric, whatever, have flipped the script and like, oh, I'm gonna get me a PlayStation 4 now, and then I'm gonna blah blah. And all of a sudden, they used to be pro Xbox, and all of a sudden they got hit by a bus or something, and now they hate Xbox. But they're doing it for views, because you look at it, and this one YouTuber, I forgot what his name was. This one YouTuber literally said, "I did what I did." He did a negative type of Xbox video, and he got mad views. And then he does a positive Xbox, like nothing, like a percentage, like a quarter of the views. Now I'm looking at the trend. Like if you do pro Xbox stuff, not so many views. But you do I hate Xbox, boom, all the views. I'm like, okay, I get it. So if you look at it's kind of like clickbait. Some of it's clickbait. Some of it is Xbox dudes who are just doing that for clickbait just to get the views, but are still gonna flip the script within the video itself. So it does help to watch the videos. But as a trend to get people to watch their videos, they're putting out negative type Xbox rhetoric, if you will, or like I said, clickbaity titles. Xbox XO's boring, and this one dude, I can't remember exactly who it was. He's like, "Oh, it was boring, but I did like this, and I did like this, and I did like this, but it was boring." I was like, "Look, there's gonna be boring parts. I mean, some of the stuff you're not gonna care about. You know, some of the stuff is part of." It's kind of like how they do. It's part of it is the personalities as well. And I don't hate anybody that's on the Xbox team right there, but I'm not feeling. I'm not like it's not like Jeff Gershman up there like blue. I think I like Tina Hart. Is her name Tina? Tara Hart? What's her name? I think she's on my Insta. I think I'm following her Insta Blam. Let me see if I can. She's always kind of on the top of the feed, because she's always posting, because celebrity. She's the blonde British lady with like all the. She's got muscles now. And she's got I think she has a rod in. It is, what's her name? What's her name? Not here. I guess she's busy, or was busy at XO. She was there. XO 18. Oh well, let me see if she posted anything recently. Probably not. I guess I could just look. Find her. T. 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 Pop it up. Got never. Tina? Tara. It's gotta be Tara. Tara? Tara? I don't remember frickin'. God dog it. I think it might be. I don't care anymore. But anyway, thank you, sub Z. Appreciate it, Ray. Hey. But yeah, so they're like, oh, it's boring, blah, 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 right? So I watched it, kind of in protest because my in-laws were there. Oh, my in-laws are home. My in-laws are at my house. And they're all talking, like my in-laws are talking to Caroline, Bridget, blah, blah. They're talking all to each other, and they talk very loud because they do. Well, whatever. They talk loud, so I'm like, so I put the headphones on and listen through my controller. I don't want to be rude, but I guess that's more rude. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the best part, I mean, I think, like I said, I don't hate them. I don't think they're not like a Jeff Gerstmann or I was thinking about somebody else who was like, oh yeah, they're a cool type of personality to be talking and stuff. Or I mean, like most of the Giant Bomb / Giant Beast casts. I like Vinny Caravella. I like the original the original 4 or 5 of the guys from Giant Bomb. Then they split in half and went whatever. I mean, they're cool. No one from IGN, not really. I like Max Scoville. Brian Altano, he's alright. He's funny at times. But you know, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's almost like they're like, oh man, I have to like Xbox now, but I'm still gonna make fun of him. But I mean, I don't hate him because he makes fun of Xbox. He makes fun of everything, so it's cool. But not acknowledging the bad stuff on the Sony side I mean, they do sometimes, you know, but they don't harp on it like they do. Or they did on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, look, if you're gonna make fun, kind of make this a equal opportunity hazing type of thing, you know? So I still think it's still a little skewed in that way, but that's all good. Sibsy says, I am happy I have Game Pass. Game Pass up in Fallout 4 after just being on there 5 months is kind of concerning. Oh, they took it off of there? I didn't even know that. I played it. I downloaded Fallout 4 through Game Pass. I had it, and I immediately, I didn't even start the game, like, for real, or maybe I did just to get out the vault. But I immediately went to the mod section, like, give me some mods, give me the God mode, because I'm not dying. Give me the God mode, and then give me the jetpack. And I was like, I'm off. And I flew up, and I came back down, and flew up, and I was like, this is whack. And I haven't played it yet. And I think I deleted it because I was like, I don't care. The 13th. Yeah, I don't care. Don't care. Fallout 76 is a hot mess of a disaster. You want to talk about that a little bit? I mean, there's stuff to talk about as far as the XO18, where Microsoft now is in the lead as far as how many studios they have making games for them. You know, it's not saying that these are going to be exclusive games, but they have more in-house studios. The word is from Matt Booty himself, says that even though they own the studios, they're still going to operate them as independent studios. So, you know, it's almost like Microsoft owns them and they're giving them a budget, but they're not going to dictate anything, I don't think, out of the ordinary. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be oversight in operations and like, look, it's taking you 9 years to make this indie game. I don't think so. You know, they have to be on top of the studio so that there's no abuse as far as that goes. But, you know, I think I will believe them in that respect. And then people are like, well, look what they did with Rare. And I'm like, well, okay, sure. But I don't think people realize that a lot of people left from Rare. You know, the same people who made like Banjo, Kazooie, and all that stuff back in the day are not at Rare. And you know what they went and did? They made ukulele. Ukulele. They made ukulele. All right, so think about it for a second. Rare as it stands, Sea of Thieves, Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, the what you would call it, the with the Pinata Bowls, whatever whatever the hell that game's called. I forgot what those two games are called. Those games versus ukulele. I heard ukulele was kind of hot garbage and not that good. It's kind of pretty, but it's not a good game. It's like, and they're like, well, it's old. It's like Banjo and Kazooie, but it's updated. But when you make a game that's kind of reminiscent or a callback to the older games, you have to actually make a good game. You can't just like say, okay, we're going to take the exact game and just have good graphics. If you do that, you will fail. I think that's what's happening with Medieval. Sony's like, oh, we're going to make Medieval. And I'm looking at it, right? I looked at the original. There was like a comparison. I looked at the original. I'm like, okay, that's a PlayStation 1 game. Okay. I'm not going to be like, oh, that's hot garbage. I'm like, no, it's PlayStation 1. It looks like hot garbage now because standards. And your boy Jim Ryan said it. He's like, who wants to play this garbage? And I agree. And then I look at the new one. I'm like, okay, they got the feel as far as the animation and the movement. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, that doesn't look like a game I want to play. Because he's like just swinging all over the place. And I'm like, I don't. And you know what? It might be true to the feeling of the original. But that's not what you do. You need to make a good game first. And then be like, okay, this is the spiritual. Make it the spiritual successor. That's what they should do. Not make a remake of Medieval. Make a spiritual successor to, or a sequel or whatever. This is new Medieval, and fix anything you need to fix. When you're beholden to the old garbage mechanics and control schemes, you're gonna have an old garbage and mechanic controlling game. So I got zero faith in Medieval. Not that I had any in the beginning, because I'd never heard of that game before anyway, because I wasn't a PlayStation head back in the day. Tiger Claw says, Rare is awesome, Pirate Battle. I know, the whole, what's it called again? I don't even remember what the versus mode. It's, what is it, five teams? I mean, five players per team. I forgot what it was, actually. Wow. But I was like, you know what? PvP and Sea of Thieves. I mean, it's always been that way, but they're actually creating a mode specifically for PvP and Sea of Thieves. So, like in Sea of Thieves, you could be like, oh, yo, we're the pirate crew. We're gonna blast anybody we see, and that way is PvP. But this one is specifically, yo, you have to get the most treasure, whatever else. It's their goals to obtain as a pirate crew, and you're versus the other pirate crews within the world. So that's kind of cool. I appreciate it. Pace says, Xbox done the arena? Oh, yeah. Thank you, subs. Z. Xbox is done messing around. You are right, Pace. Xbox is done playing. They were like, you know what? I don't think 10 studios is enough. Bam, here go another 2. Now we got more than Sony. What you got, Sony? Got nothing. We're going to be waiting 12,000 years for the next Sony game. Like, oh, man. Ain't gonna come out this year. What's coming out next year? Who knows? And then people like hearing the news like, oh, Death Stranding is done and it's playable. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, sure. I don't think so. Was it Death Stranding? I think it was Death Stranding, or some other game. I don't remember. It was some game that did like a highly anticipated PlayStation game. I'm like, So you got Death Stranding. You got Last of Us 2, and you got Days Gone. Sorry, I have to laugh because that game is doomed to fail. That's just like, I mean, you don't even have to be Michael Pachter or anybody. You don't have to be, fortune teller. You don't have to be none of these people. You don't have to be the Johnny Carson with the, I forgot what he called it. You don't have to do that because you can just tell. You're like, it's like The Last of Us, Days Gone. The Last of Us, The Last of Us 2, Days Gone. And here's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Subsy says Days Gone is a Daryl Dixon simulator without Daryl Dixon. See, here's the thing. If Days Gone had your boy Daryl Dixon, if they had him, what's his name, in it, That would be like, okay, sure, that would sell it. But dude from the Star Wars games, nah, not so much. It's like, he's good, he's alright, but no, they need to do the Star Citizen thing, get all the stars and Citizen stars, get all of them, put them in the game, like Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, what's his name? Wasn't Christoph Waltz in it too? I just like so many people. Oh no, it was wow, I can't remember. Oh man, I see his face, but I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter. But anyway, Rare's not gone. Rare would be, if Rare wasn't bought by Microsoft, Rare would be gone right now. Because if you look at the games they're making, you can't blame Microsoft for the games that they make, because ultimately, if you guys don't know, when studios make a game, it's not like they go and they have a studio meeting and then they go to their overlords and say, hey, this is what our meeting was about. What do you think? And then the overlords say, no, do this. And then they go back and they say, our low overlord said we have to do this. Unless you're working for Activision, Call of Duty. Unless you're owned by EA, Battlefront, Star Wars. I'm just saying. Bungie, hi Bungie. I'm just saying, all this monetization is messing up these games. And these giant, like if you notice, right? Sea of Thieves doesn't have the monetization and all these, loot boxes and all the stuff that these other games have. Specifically Activision games and EA games. Those two. And it's like, and Diablo, well, Blizzard Activision, same thing. Diablo Immortals is like, oh man. And they're just, they don't care. They're unabashedly just like, yo, we're making, they try to pretend like it's like, yeah, we love slaying demons on the phone. Yeah, demon slaying, mofo. Demon slaying is the best. It's awesome. I was they say that, they sneak that little, it's like the fine print. Like, well, hold on. You say something after you say demon slaying, cause this is on phone. Boo. It's like, what? Wait, y'all don't have phones? I'm like, oh, that's not. You don't say that. Like, as a married man, like if I said something like that to my wife, it's either a slap across the face, which is not, cause I'm like, whew, I got. Whew. I'm like, you missed, girl. You missed. Missed again. You forgot I'm a dancer. That's how I dance. Anyway, Subsy said Microsoft is announcing something during the Game Awards. They wouldn't say what it is till then. Dude, they got announcement after announcement after announcement. Meanwhile, Sony's like, oh, we don't have enough stuff to have PlayStation experience this year. Hold up. Here's the thing. Sony's in the lead. Sony is in the lead, right? They're the market leader. Why don't they have anything? It's like, that don't make no sense. That means that's poor planning by Sony, because it's like, oh, they're in the lead, right? And but then people will say, oh, they don't need to do this stuff. Microsoft is trying to catch up, so they need to try it. No. You need to maintain the lead. Like, if you're in the lead, you're not just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to just put it in neutral and coast the next 20 miles. No, because you're going to lose. Because everybody else is going to be like, yada-da. And they're going to shoot right past your ass. That's what's going to happen. Sony's being lackadaisical. Oh, we don't have nothing. We're just going to, I'm sure. And they probably don't have any money because they spent all this money, right, on the Red Dead deal, on the marketing deal, right? Oh, yeah, right? Meanwhile, everybody's playing it on Xbox One X. They're like, yeah, best versions on the Xbox One. Terry says, whenever you do, folks, don't mention to Esgee about the PS1 Classic running. Oh, yeah. Thanks. I forgot to actually mention that. Subject says, TC, that means I can turn a $59 tablet I have here into a PS1 Classic. True. I totally forgot about that. I heard about that, and I was like, I mean, first of all, you're like, oh, PS Classic, yay, that's them being unoriginal, right? Then you look at the game. They release all the games, like, oh, and it's, you know what? I don't even care. I have an original PlayStation, a real PlayStation, which I can, hopefully get some games for. Maybe, who cares? Maybe Shadow of Colossus or something like that, just to have it. But Then you look at the games like, oh, that's kind of why. And the PlayStation dudes was like, yeah, that's kind of garbage. I'm not buying that. Not for $100. I mean, first of all, the price is wrong. If it was $69, then people were like, it's all right. I'll just get it. Or if it was $59, like a price of a game, the price of a game, people would just buy it. It'd be like an extra, oh, it's cute. It's a cute little thing to put on my desk or the back on my shelf. But it's $100. It's like, that's not the, you know how the sweet spot for like the next gen brand new console is like $399. That's a good price, right? $100 for a throwback retro hot garbage console, that's not the right price. $69 is the right price. $59 is the right price. $69 is an okay price. $79, you better have some good games. Anything above that, you go kick some rocks because it's not good. Oh man, I'm sorry. I gotta scroll up. I'm missing some of the chatter here. Tiger says, Subsidy, you can download the RetroArch app for Android TV. Subsidy said, PS1 Classic could have upped the resolution. That would have been nice. That's true. PS1 Classic is a landfill for lazy people. That's true. Original graphics, though, man, those are nasty. Tiger says, yeah, I watched the GameSpot review of the PS1 Classic. There's no way to change the graphics setting. The only thing you could change is from 16:9 to 4:3 on the back. Okay, that's hot garbage. Why is it even HDMI? Because it's easier to plug into your TV, but it's still looking hot. I think it's like 720p, right? Is the max resolution on it? So it does upscale? I think it just upscale. Wait, if it's the emulator, then it does whatever the emulator does, right? So does the emulator upscale? I think that's what it does. I think it's what the most emulators just upscale. Yeah. They done messed up. And this is the first time they messed up. I mean, they're all, like the PlayStation TV was a mess up. They discontinued that. This is not. This is gonna be one run and done. They're not gonna be like, oh, we need to reprint it because so many people bought. No. They're just gonna whatever they print. They're gonna hope that they sell because I mean they're gonna sell some because all these YouTubers need to buy it and trash it. Be like, oh man, this is garbage. Oh, I wish they had an analog stick on it. There's so many different things that are wrong with the PlayStation 1 Classic. We didn't even get to the emulation part. So many. I put a post on Facebook on the All Games Facebook community page. You guys want allgames.com/live. That's what you do. Anyway, I forgot to do it in the beginning. Anyway, when this emulation thing came out and they're using whatever it is, the PS whatever X emulation, Flanagan Brothers greater than PS1 Classic. Wow, that's okay. I can't even say that because Flanagan Brothers could kick rocks. I mean, I'm a Sega fan too, and Flanagan, I was like, Flanagan Brother? Nah, I'm not falling for this one, Sega. Sorry. That's okay. I can run Bleemcast on my DC. Oh, true. Bleemcast is crazy. They had that for the PlayStation 2. What was it called? The Pleemcast? The Pleebcast? Techla says the PS1 Classic doesn't have the option to remove scan lines, so it will look like shite on an HD TV. Wait, what? Wait. Wait, why doesn't it have the option? It's literally an emulator from PC, and they all have all the options. So what did they actually go in? They licensed? I think they licensed the emulator. They did it legitimately, but still lazy. And they took out the option to take out the scan lines. Is that what you just said? I hooked up a Dreamcast to a modern TV about a month ago, and it was yeah. Dreamcast is really bad resolution unless you have the VGA port. Then it's super clean. But if you just do it with the composite stuff, then yes, it looks like really bad. No anti-aliasing. Yeah, it's an emulator. I mean, well, okay, that's not. I'm stupid by saying that. Blurrier than Sega's future. Don't make me sad, Billy. Okay, if you know what makes me sadder than you dissing on Xbox, which doesn't make me sad actually, is dissing on Sega. Because it's almost 20 years since Dreamcast came out, even though that's not when they were the best. That was the beginning and the end for Sega, but what are you gonna do? But the Dreamcast was a dope ass console. It's a shame. Really, it's a shame. Look at that hot piece of garbage. Does the okay? That's a good title there. GameSpot. The PlayStation Classic does the bare minimum. I'm not gonna play it though. You guys play it on your own thing. I'm not gonna play that because whatchamacallit. I can't. I don't have this. The sound isn't. I guess I can. I don't want. No, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want. Anyway, so they're using an emulator. They're licensing an emulator, I believe. They're licensing an emulator from whatever. Here's my question. PlayStation 4 is in the lead. Sony's in the lead. Sony has the most popular. Listen to the words. Sony has the most popular console out there. Not saying it's the best, just the most popular. PlayStation used to have the strongest hardware when it came out in 2013, but competitors came out and surpassed them. By them just licensing an emulator. Now, they have had emulators on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 as well, because the PlayStation 4 can play PS1 and 2 games, I believe. So there is some emulation happening there, right? So I'm like, okay, why is it necessary for Sony to license an emulator from some hobbyist or whatever, wherever they got it from, when they're a multi-billion-dollar company? Why can't they have their guys, their smart guys, make an emulator for their IPs, for their hardware? It doesn't make any sense to me when you have a huge, giant corporation. You know, that's like if Chevy goes and like, you know, we want a nice new engine. We're gonna put a new engine in this car real quick, and they go to Ford. Yo, give us them Ford Fiesta engines real quick. We want that one right there. Put a Ford engine in Chevy. Like, what are you doing? Don't you have? Go make your own engine, sucker. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, actually, is it an analogy? Simile, metaphor, whatever, metaphor. Anyway. But okay, so PS TV and the games you actually want to play are less than $99. Oh wait, I forgot PS TV spiked. Oh, it did? Oh, I thought it went down because it launched at $99, right? Douglas says, and you think that getting an open source emulator that the cost would go down? Nope. This is Sony we're talking about. They like to charge a premium for the price. Yeah, that's a Sony problem. That's like Apple. It's like, yeah, I'm going to buy an Apple computer and pay $1,000 more than I should, basically. Subsea says, I think it's open source. They didn't have to license it. No, but I think they did license it. It's a specific emulator that a specific individual / or group of individuals made. And I think they went to them and licensed that one. Even though it is open source, I think that's what they did. I think. But still, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Business wise, I guess it makes sense, but it doesn't. As far as going towards the future and ensuring that you have emulation software that you can use on your PS5, let's say, for instance, that doesn't make sense. Like, are you going to use this emulation software on your PS5? Is that what you're doing? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why aren't you not making your own stuff? Aren't you making your own games? Are you going to freaking farm those out to somebody else too? Oh, yeah, that's right. You just buy the... Well, that's what Microsoft just did, so I can't talk. I don't know. Put up an article about that whole detail about the licensing thing. Yeah, Tiger Claw's the ghost producer, so he just asked, please. I mean, please. That's what I said. But if you guys know, Icon Boys on Pop Belly Gamers Friday night at 6 or 6:30 p.m. So it's pretty cool. Listen to that. I tried to listen like last weekend. I came in like 7:30 and I was like almost over. I was like, what? Did I miss? Oh, but I thought it started at 6:30. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of an indication. If you look at what Sony's doing, this in particular is like, it's indication that Sony is really trying to do the least amount of work to get something out there for you to buy. The least of, they literally, the best thing about the PlayStation 1 Classic is the plastic mold. It's like, all right, this is what's gonna happen. These baller dudes out there, the YouTubers, the hacker YouTubers out on YouTube, redundant, yes I know. They're gonna buy it, they're gonna rip it apart, they're gonna put a Raspberry Pi in it, and they're gonna make it 1,000 times better than what it is. They're gonna make it a mini shrunky PS1. They're gonna do that. They're gonna put a better emulator in it. They're gonna put more games on it. It's gonna be way better than what they're giving you. And hey, Sony's making hot garbage once again. I mean, they don't always make hot garbage, but you know, I mean, PlayStation VR not the best. So in terms of VR, it's just above hot garbage because the phone VR is hot garbage. PlayStation VR is right above hot garbage. It's like the seagulls flying over the hot garbage. That's what the PlayStation VR is. Tiger Claw says, oh, come to think of it, this doesn't have the button to change the aspect ratio on the back. I got confused when I saw it. A review for the console called the Classic NH. No, yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't. That sounded a little weird. I could have swore that they had some options for graphics options on there. But I could be conflating that with all the millions of other freaking emulation boxes, minis, and all that crap. So, whatever. What is the school classic? No, I'm not gonna. Oh, this is Raspberry Pi can't emulate PlayStation. Not that powerful. Well, they could. They can't even do DS games. They can? You sure about that? Nintendo D. You might be right. I don't know. They're always coming up with newer ones, so I would assume. Well, actually, you know what? I think they can do DS games because I had. No, you know what? You might be right. I think that was a Game Boy Advance game. Yeah, you might be right, Kaijudo. But anyway, the point is, Kaijudo, it doesn't have to be a Pi. It could be another form of smaller computer that they could put in that thing and it'll work. You know, so Sony got problems. Sony got problems like Bethesda got problems right now. Sony got problems. Bethesda got problems. Blizzard, Activision got problems. EA got problems. There's a lot of big companies got problems right now. And you're thinking like, why? Oh, you got the three? All right. Why is it that these big companies are having problems? First and foremost, I guess the first component, the first ingredient in this problems of the big corporations is greed. Too much of it. Now, you can be like, you could say greed, or you can say, I don't know, what's a better word for a company that's trying to, get paid, but still do the right thing. It's like when you say greed, then it's like, do the least amount as possible to get the most money, right? I mean, that's kind of good business, but at the same time, that doesn't help you the long run down the road, because if you put out an inferior product, right, and it's a quick buck that, oh yeah, we making money, and then somebody else comes along, puts out a better product, and that catches on, your product's left in the dust. You got to come up with something better. So it's always kind of like, oh man, now we got to beat them again, or you're creating like kind of, it's not artificial competition, but it's more work down the road. It's like if you do a shitty job on something, it's going to probably break. You're probably going to have to fix it later. Like, oh, I'm fixing my car and put some duct tape on it. Guess what? That's probably not going to last. You need to fix it right. Do it right, buddy. And Sony right now is not really doing it right. They're kind of like, they've been gliding. They've been coasting ever since they got that lead like that. They like, we're good. After God of War, we're done. PlayStation 5's coming up. Andrew says gaming has problems, and I blame gamers the most. I want the garbage we have. They wanted the garbage we have now. I disagree. The garbage we have now is a manifestation of the success of the mobile market. So these companies are looking at the mobile market like, yo, why are these stupid little garbage games making all this money? How can we do that? And that's what they're doing. They're taking the mobile market, whatchamacallit? Wow. Formula, if you will, because I forget the other word I'm trying to use. And they're applying it to $60 games. I'm like, you know, Jim Sterling's on it all the time. It's like, look, if you're gonna do this mobile market, loot box, blah blah blah, all the stuff, pay to win or play to win or pay to whatever, don't charge $60. That's the main problem. It's like if you put out a free, like Fortnite, for example. Fortnite's a perfect example. Like Fortnite, whatever, it's a game, people like it, blah blah blah. It's free. For the part that people play is free. You know, it's the part that people paid for, that was exclusive for the PlayStation, and it was like, whatever. Became free, boom, blows up. It's free everywhere, blows up everywhere. They make it so much money because it's free, and it allows the player / customer to be like, okay, I'm gonna dictate if I'm gonna spend money. Not, oh, I gotta spend money just to get in to spend more money. Get the out of here with that. Kajita says who supported it? Who's giving them that money? Probably the people who own companies. That's how the big companies work. They have stockholders. Stockholders hold the stock, which is worth the monies, and they have monies. Of course, they get money from sales, but if you create hot garbage, you're gonna get less sales. That's what's happening in Call of Duty. It's getting more garbagey and garbageier, and it's selling less every year. You know, so you know, it's the market will eventually work itself out. You could blame gamers, but gamers buy games. And you should really be blaming Twitch more, the streaming, the game, the YouTubers and the Twitchers, because they buy everything. Because whether it's bad or not, they have to buy the hot garbage games to show everybody else that is hot garbage. And everybody's jumping on, oh man, I'm PewDiePie and I gotta play this stupid ass game. You know, whether or not they buy it or not, you know, maybe the company actually gives it to them, but still they're promoting it, and then that actually gets people to play it as well. You know, so don't blame just gamers. You have to be specific. Like, okay, these YouTubers are these influencers are influencing, if you will. So I would blame them more specifically. I mean, you can blame generally, but more specifically, like super huge streamers have to play everything. And especially if it's like garbage, like, oh, it's well-known garbage, they have to play it to witness the garbage and to be that personality to react to the garbage for their fan base. Because if there's a hot game that's super garbage, oh, Kajito says, I post on Steam all the time. I can tell you how many players ask to rip them off. I've seen these digital card games and say, please give us. Yeah. Well, digital card game. Yeah, that's kind of like an addiction thing too. I mean, you're kind of tapping into the addictive parts of certain games, like the digital card games, or what other game? Not general video game addiction, like video game playing addiction, but certain games I think tune into or touch the addictive nature of us humans. So like card games or loot box games, the gambling aspect of game. So that's a little specific, but no, I agree with that. But like I said, I mean, that's an addict asking for the next hit. You know, it's like, yo, give me some more, I'll pay for it, give me some more. I'll suck your E, you know what I mean? Okay, you said do face it gamers enough. Like I said, stop generalizing, Kaijudo. I just explained. It's about that. It's about them addicts. About them whales. Maybe some whales are addicts, and that's good for the companies. But like guys like you and me is like, yo, I'm not falling for that. You know, Microsoft pull out some. No, I'm not falling for that. Sorry. I stopped playing Sea of Thieves because I'm like, nope. Now they have this PvP thing. I'm like, maybe, but the thing about Sea of Thieves, and I've been playing it wrong. You need to play with people. You have to play with a team. That's the only way to play it, and I haven't been doing that, and that's why I fell off. It's not their fault. It's just the game that it is. I don't really fit into that. If they made it, I mean, you could do a single player, but if they made a more single player centric type of game in Sea of Thieves, I'd be down. Just give me a super story. You know, have me go here, island hop, chasing something or whatever. That'd be dope. I'd be down for that. This game had a list of free cards and they still wanted to pay for more. Yeah, they're addicts, man. I tell you. Yeah, that goes for most games. They want the same stuff all the time. We the minority, the vocal majority asked for. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's the thing, right? Like you have the experience on Steam. I don't go on Steam that much at all. But you have that experience and you have that information, evidence, if you will. And then you look at you look at Blizzard with Diablo Immortal. It's either Immortal or Immortals. I don't remember. And I'm like, y'all know Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. You know what they wanted. You know what they want. They wanted Diablo 4. You know that's what they wanted. You come out on stage, and this is supposed to be the coup de grace. This is supposed to be the last big thing in the whole conference, BlizzCon. And you come out with this. This should have been the first thing. And then you put a trailer for Diablo 4, even though it's not even close to being done. You put out a trailer for Diablo 4 when your flashy boom, boom, bam trailers, and you call it a day. It'd be all good. But they tried to blow up Diablo mobile time for the investors. And then they get this company that made a Chinese Diablo clone to make it. And I looked at both. I was like, that's an asset swap right there. They took their engine and put the Diablo stuff in it, and that's what I was like, dang, son. I mean, it like so much the same. I was like, wow. I said to myself, I'm glad I'm not a Diablo fan because I would be mad a lot. I'd be a lot mad, but not so much, I guess. Like that's like if they did it would make me mad if Sega said, "Oh, we're doing the Yu Suzuki collection for the Genesis." I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Just give me the arcade version of. Thank you. That's a bad example too, because that would make no sense, and most of those games aren't. Actually, they all are on the Genesis in some form. I think Power Drift there's a Japanese version of Power Drift. I played it. It's bad. Super Thunderblade. There's a Genesis version of that. There's a Genesis version of Galaxy Force 2. These are all bad games, by the way. These are the games I love in the arcade. These are so bad on the Genesis. Oh my god, they're so bad. What else was in that collection? Space Harrier, Outrun, Afterburner. Yeah, they're all on the Genesis and they all suck. So that wouldn't work. And that's the thing I'm starting to hate about Sega is like they keep freaking redoing this Genesis collection. Like, dude, you guys have some of the best arcade versions from the 80s. What the hell are you doing? Put that out over and over again. I'll buy that. Like, I'll buy the Xbox version. I'll buy the Xbox Scarlet version. Because if you notice, the Genesis collection for the 360 is not backwards compatible for the Xbox. Then they put it out for the Xbox. And I said to myself, I'm not buying that again. Even though they had Space Harrier in it, excuse me. They had Space Harrier, the arcade version. Like, you plays, I forgot what game, and it unlocks the arcade version. I was like, oh, that's dope. But I think there was a problem with the sound or something. The emulation on that arcade version in that collection was off. Something was off. I think the music or something was weird. I was like, this is, I mean, the frames and the animation was good, but I was like, there's something wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not going off on a tangent. But going back to Sony's blunder, I guess we can close this off real quick and we can get to XO18 and talk about that. Sony's messing up. And even past the PlayStation Classic, which is a hot mess right now. Excuse me. Not as hot of a mess as the Fallout 76. Wow. Let's talk about the Fallout 76 stuff real quick. And then I want to talk about PlayStation games versus Xbox games moving forward into the future. Now, Fallout 76 has had some issues. According to the stuff that I've seen, they put out a thing for the fixes like, we realize that the beta sucks. Paraphrasing, of course. We realize the beta sucks and we're gonna fix these things in the future. Basically, it's paraphrasing. That's kind of what they said about everything except for the FOV. They said we're not going to change the FOV because all our games have had this type of FOV, blah blah blah. And if we change it, it'll break the animation and cause clipping. I'm like, okay, you guys suck. I knew that the games kind of sucked, but it was kind of an enduring. It was kind of words. It was kind of a cute glitchiness. Like, oh, that's crazy. You see the people flying in the air. You see Randy mod. Well, those are mods. So wow, I still can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely something's wrong. But there's an exploit in the multiplayer, whatever. There's an exploit in their netcode where people can literally hack your game and do stuff. Whether it's super speed, they could do and it's how the netcode was built. It's how it works. And I'm like, seriously, another multi-billion-dollar company and hot garbage. Like, what's going on? I mean, are they just rushing to get a multiplayer Fallout 4 out? That what they're doing? Instead of doing like a Fallout Online, like Elder Scrolls Online, which is a totally different game than Elder Scrolls. So I'm like, I mean, I know like a Skyrim, a multiplayer Skyrim would be cool, dope, whatever. But I think they messed up, and if they don't fix it and they try to implement this on Skyrim, and if this is part of what's that space one called, Skyflight or whatever the heck it's called, the space one, if they do that they could kick rocks. I think I'm done with Bethesda stuff. Because I was endearing. Thank you, Subsy. Wow. Your brain is broken. Can't think of this. And I haven't even had a stroke yet. Just had, I guess, brain damage. Yes, I do have brain damage. I did, like it's fixed now. No. Guess I do have brain damage. But whatever. Gonna be a vegetable sooner or later. So might as well enjoy what I can remember. Kajudo says Bethesda always makes buggy stuff. Yeah, but enduring buggy stuff is like, oh, that's cute. Look at his head rotate all the way around. That's so crazy. And it's good video content. Like, look at the bugs this week for Bethesda game Q. Just watch them. I like watching them the bug videos where like the Red Dead bug videos are so crazy, man. They're so good. I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. Even though that's like the best game ever right now. There's still some crazy bugs in that game. And I guess, it's inherent. Open world games are inherent to have some bugs. But it's like, I mean, I know you can't compare like Forza Horizon 4 to these other open world games. But still open world. It's just a different type. But there's still some bug. Like, the only bug that I see in Forza 4 is like when the interstitial or the transitional screens when like you win a race, or when you're going into a race, more so you're going into a race and it kind of pans around the vehicle that you're going to use, and then everything opens up and you're inside, and it's like just like a loading screen basically, but it does that. Sometimes the vehicle isn't planted on the ground, so it's like levitating like a couple inches. You see like the space with the shadows. Okay, that's not right, but it's not crazy broken. It's not like you're driving a tree around or anything like that. So Forza Horizon 4 doesn't have those crazy bugs like these other games do. Yeah, there really isn't any. I mean, I guess because cars don't have that many moving parts, so it's easier for them to not have any type of collision issues. Or what is it? IK, inverse kinetics issues. But yeah. So, yeah, Bethesda's in a bad way. I guess Fallout 76 is going to be hot garbage, but I think it'll do okay. But it's not going to do like Fallout 4 numbers, I don't think, because of its issues. Or it might if it becomes something that is unexpected, where the best part of Fallout 76 is the fact that you can hack and do all these crazy things. So it's kind of like an evolution of mods, where it's like the whole game is just a mod playground. Sure, then yeah, it'll be great. I think that's one of the things that'll make it, like, if you have co-op, if you're doing co-op and you do the mods, I think, yeah, that'll, everything else will either work itself out, or people will just use it for that. So I don't think it's going to do horrible, I think right now it's just a lot of negative people saying stuff about it because it is kind of garbagey and broken. Um, but I think the potential is there for it to be better than what it seems like it's heading toward. So let's talk about Sony's games versus Xbox. PlayStation games, PlayStation 4 games versus Xbox One games. Now, I've listened to people talking about games and exclusives, all about the exclusive. But when you're talking about games or you're talking about my team's winning, blah blah blah, you ask yourself, why are they winning? Well, the reason why Sony's winning is they have the most console market, right? And then you look at, well, why is that? Because more people bought it in the beginning because it was a better deal, it's cheaper, more powerful. So, boom. It had nothing to do with the games. At first, Sony sold more not because of the games, not because of the exclusives. So that momentum carried on, and then they said, oh, snap, let's put out some really cool games. They did that. It just helped them keep going, right? The problem is that they're making the same type of game. There's no diversity in their first-party lineup. Horizon Zero, the only difference is Horizon Zero Dawn is open world, but it's a third-person action-adventure RPG. God of War, third-person, kind of open-ish, adventure RPG. Detroit Become Human, not an RPG. It's an adventure. It's a storybook. It's a freaking point-and-click adventure from a different shinied up. So that's even worse than just the third-person RPG type action-adventure RPG. Last of Us 2, not open world, third-person action adventure, light RPG mechanics. I'll say light RPG, but it's more, four so far, same type of genre, pretty much. Fifth game is Days Gone. Third person. This one's open world like Horizon. But action adventure, I would assume there's some RPG in there too. They're all the same game. They got no racing games to think of. You'd be like, oh, well, Gran Turismo Sport. Like, okay, that's funny. You got jokes. Their attempts at the other genres have failed. And I said this before. The only one they have is baseball, and that's because they have the monopoly on. Nobody else is making them. So nobody else has an option. It's like, oh, I want to buy a baseball game. Which one do I buy? The only one. And then you say, okay, boom, right? And yes, they have other studios making other games that we don't know about yet. Some are making VR games, which most of us don't care about because it's four. I'm gonna say 4 million. Let's say 5 million. There's 5 million PSVRs out there. 5 million is nothing. It's zero. You might as well be like, there's no VR games out there, because if you have 5 million, how many can you sell ultimately? 5 million. That's all you can sell. And that's being generous. Not everybody's going to buy. Most people who have a PSVR aren't you going out, oh, I'm going to buy every PSVR game. No, that's not. Nope. No. They'll buy Astrobots. And there's a few others. There's a dude on YouTube. His name is PSVR Frank, I think is his channel. And he's like a New Yorker. I talked to him about before. He's pretty funny. If you're into VR and stuff, check him out on YouTube. He's a pretty good he's a pretty good channel. That's all he does. All he does is PSVR games. So, he's super specific. But anyway, it's all kind of the same. And I agree with Frank Ross is saying the same thing. He's like, yo, they're making the same game. I mean, and it's not like it's like I think God of War is the one game that's kind of detached from it. I mean, I don't count Detroit Become Human. I mean, that's a David Cage joint. I wish the game was better. Say that. If Detroit Become Human was more like God of War, then it would be a dope, awesome game. But it's kind of impossible, kinda. Well, not really. It's not impossible. Why would I say that? It's not impossible. It's just he thinks he's a movie maker making video games, and he's not the best writer. I think he needs a better writer. I think somebody needs to write the games. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they're making the same game pretty much. Now, Microsoft just announced 2 new studios, In Exile, I think it is, and wow. I got Bethesda in my brain, that's why, and my eyes twitching. So you know something wrong. I'm not having a stroke. At least I don't think I am. Does the stroke hurt? Stroke? I can't even talk. Am I having a stroke? I don't think I am. Obsidian. There it is. So, In Exile, Obsidian, 2 new studios. That brings the total to 12 or 13. 12 or 13, I think. It's 2 more than what Sony has, basically. Because they were even up until this point, and then they announced these 2. Now, what they're saying is that, yes, we have these new studios working on games, but they're not going to come out tomorrow. They're not going to come out next year. 2 years from now, at the soonest, 2 years from now. So 2020. You know what I mean? Well, some of them 2020, some 2021, depends. But you look at the type of studios there. You got Obsidian, who does RPGs. Then you have NXL, who does, real-time strategy stuff. Yeah. And then you have all the other ones. You got Playground and all the other Turn 10, blah, blah, Rare. All the other Compulsion games. The Initiative. You still got 343. You still got Gears of War, Coalition. You still got all these studios, right? So, and you look at them, right? And you're like, okay, the closest games that are to each other is Gears of War and Halo. And that's not even close, because Halo's first person, Gears of War is third person. Totally different feel, totally different flow, totally different pace, totally different universe. It's not so similar like Sony's games. Although, if we're just talking genres, still, there aren't 2 first-person games that are like kind of sci-fi military first-person games from Microsoft first-party studios. First person. Like I said, Gears of War is third person. So, and you look at the genres. There's a variety of genres. And the thing that Matt Booty said, he said, when we're buying studios, we're not looking at the genre of games that they're making. They're looking at the type of studio they are, like the dedication that they do, the amount of work and love that they put in to making these games. And that's like, yeah, of course, if you get a hack studio, who's just lazy and just want to throw out garbage, then guess what? That's not good, because that's what you're going to get. But if you get studios that are working hard and they're making, all studios, I would assume, work hard. But, it's part working hard, part having the skill to do what you want to do, and having the dedication, not giving up, and not being like, okay, that's good enough, whatever, just throw that crap out, And that Microsoft money allows them, these smaller studios, instead of going out of business, to keep on making games and to actually have a bigger budget to make better games, to have the infrastructure of Azure and Xbox Live and all the technical assistance that they need from Microsoft, who is leading the industry in software, as far as infrastructure, online presence, cloud gaming, and all that stuff. I believe they have the biggest cloud. I think Azure is the biggest cloud in general, because they use it for business and everything else. Oh yeah, Sub-Z said, you heard they just patched Mass Effect and Andromeda on Xbox One X. Now the frame rate is solid, and 1800p on the PS4 Pro dips to 25 FPS. Yes, I played it, because this is what I did. Right, I heard about it. Right, I was like, oh snap! So I loaded up Mass Effect, and I didn't get the patch yet. So I was like, oh, this is, I don't, because I hadn't played it on my X. So I was looking, I was like, oh, this is hot garbage. This looks really bad. Mass Effect Andromeda looks the original, whatever it was, the resolution was horrible. I mean, it was all crunchy and fuzzy. I was like, dang, I don't remember it looking that bad. And then I got the Xbox One X enhanced version. Got the update. I put that in. I was like, oh, now that's what I'm talking about. So it's almost like, here's the comparison I say. You see 4K movie, and then you see a DVD movie, and you're like, yeah, 4K is better. Actually, I mean, the gulf was wider, but I think it's a closer relation. You're going from like, DVDs were 480p, right? Yeah. So DVDs were 480p and 4K Blu-rays, 4K. So that's the difference. As far as just like when you see it, like, oh, and they didn't change. I mean, they changed the resolution. So the resolution is 1800p, I believe, and it's from when it's upscales from 1800p, it looks good on the X. Yeah, and the frame rate, everything was cool. I was like, all right, that's dope. But I didn't play that much of it because I don't remember where I was, and the game itself isn't the best. So I mean, I might go back to it and just run through it, and, because I've been on the kick ever since I went back and finished Sunset Overdrive. I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can get in there and, as long as it's not like a games. It's like Forza Horizon 4 is like never ending. It's like every season has its own goals and its own cars and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh. So every week I gotta play it and play it and play it. And I've been lacking behind. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make the this week's challenges because I've been playing. Today's Sunday. I haven't played it at all. This season, this week. So that sucks for me, but that's okay. I can skip one. I mean, maybe I'll just get the specific car goals for this week. But anyway, if you look at the games on PlayStation 4 going forward up until, let's say, 2020, Death Stranding is, I think, the only other game that's still third-person action-adventure, right? But I think it's different enough because it's a Kojima joint that it's I think it deserves a special consideration and category. So I wouldn't clump it into all of the games, but still. And then Spider-Man came out, which is a third-person action-adventure game with lights RP. It seems like Sony's like, oh, this is a winning formula, and like all the games are that, and I'm like, that's not. I don't think that's a smart move. But Insomniac made it, so, and that's what they made. That's what Sunset Overdrive is, literally. So I think that's more of a coincidence than a planned thing, a design thing specifically. And Insomniac isn't a Sony studio. They just did a deal for the exclusive, so that doesn't count actually. But I'm still like, okay, I like racing games. PlayStation, what do you have to offer me? The latest and greatest thing that came out for the PlayStation for racing fans, Gran Turismo Sport, I guess is the best because it's first party. I mean, you would assume the first party games would be the better games. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But it seems like, to me, it seems that Sony is losing the grasp. Their grasp is they're just losing their control and their dominance on certain things. For instance, racing genre. They were the kings, and then Forza started coming out, and they took over. So, question is, how can Sony win back the racing genre? That's the main question for that. And then you go back and say, okay, how can Sony win in the first-person shooter genre? And we're talking about first-party games. We're not talking about third-party. Third-party is all Xbox One X because that's where it plays. So that's not even a discussion. But first-party, they have a unique opportunity to make a specific, unique game that is exclusive. So within the genre of first-person, the Halo killer, that's what Killzone was supposed to be. The Killzone was supposed to be the Halo killer, and Killzone 2 came off. I mean, they started off on the wrong foot by giving us smoke and mirrors. Say, hey, look at this game. It's like, that's not. Then it came out, and it's like, yeah, that doesn't look as good as what y'all said it was going to look like. You got to give that's Guerrilla. You got to give them props for getting it close, but no. And their last Killzone game wasn't. It was like, was it better than Halo 5? No, it wasn't. So it's not a Halo killer. So they failed on that. They had massive action game that was garbage. They gave up on Hunsocom, which is that first person or third person, I don't remember. So what they got? What do they got? Then you look at RPGs. What does Microsoft have? RPGs. I think. I mean, they just bought Obsidian, so we assume they'll probably make an RPG. You know, I think that's what's kind of missing. I mean, because Western RPGs have only been from third party, like Bethesda, but they're kind of buggy, and I tend not to. I enjoyed Skyrim because of the world, but not because it was technically beautiful or everything worked great or the voice acting was bad, but wasn't great. The facial animations are so bad in freaking Skyrim. I don't understand why they can't make their faces. Just get a better artist, please, to make the faces, or do freaking photogrammetry or something. Take pictures of people's faces and then plop it in there and clean it up. Come on, son. We have all this technology. Why aren't you using it? Get a new engine. Golly. I mean, I know it's cheaper to use the hot garbage you have right now, but if you want people to be like, yo, imagine this, for instance, or for a second. Imagine if Fallout 76 coming out was on a brand new engine, graphics was crazy, worked, it was beautiful. It was like, oh man, this game is not clunky. There's not really that many bugs. They're so responsive. Because one thing about the Bethesda games, they're like, it's sluggish, there's latency or something. I'm like, ugh. You know, and the same with Fallout. I mean, not Fallout. Grand Theft Auto / Red Dead. I guess it's a artifact of the engines. I don't know. You know, maybe because when they're streaming and stuff, it just causes some latency. Or I couldn't tell you. I don't know nothing about that stuff. But I don't see how. Well, here's the thing. You know, going back to Sony, like, they tried, right? They tried a first-person thing, didn't work. They went on to do an open-world thing. That works, right? So what is happening at Sony, as far as their games go, they tried stuff, and it didn't work. And so what they're doing is they try some more stuff, and that does work. They're going to keep doing that. So Guerrilla is going to be their open-world action-adventure RPG studio. They're going to make Horizon Second Dawn or whatever, First Dawn, till the cows come home. That's what Guerrilla's doing now. Open world games, open world third person action adventure RPG games. That's Guerrilla. They used to be their first person studio, the first person shooter studio, but not anymore. They don't have a first person shooter studio. You have Naughty Dog. They're the third person action adventure games. They're the Horizon. They're the Uncharted, and they're the whatchamacallit, Last of Us 2 studio. So there you got two studios. One's making an open world action adventure RPG. One's making a linear action adventure story based character based game, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything bad with that. But you look at the genres, right? Boom, boom, boom. You have a baseball game, fine, sure. But I don't really count that because it's kind of alone on an island by itself. What else? They're making racing games, but they come out so infrequently that it's like, okay. If you're a PlayStation fan, you should probably, if you only have a PlayStation 4, you're super sad because you can't play the best racing game right now. You're like, dang, son. Oh, but I have a PC. I can play it on PC. Don't do that. Unless you got the beastiest PC in the world, don't do that. Because the Xbox One X, just saying, that data throughput is just smooth, baby. Although I've been playing 30 frames per second because I like 4K better than 60 frames as far as that world, because it's an arcade racer. You know, it's not so super technical. I mean, I think I might go and dip into 60 frames once in a while, just to get a feeling. But I don't like the disconnect between the actual gameplay and the cinematics, because it's the cinematics. The cinematics are still in 30, and when it switches from cinematic to gameplay, it's a little jarring for me. But it does feel super smooth when it's driving in 60 frames on open world racing game. 60 frames is ridiculous. Still the best racing game right now. Anyway, so they gave up on the racing. They didn't give up on the racing genre. They're just losing, and they need to step up their game. And VR, that's the thing I was talking. VR even though it was cool, right? I think they should have waited. Um, but they're in a specific position because they are the market leader to take chances on VR, and I think it's hurting their game production library as far as first person stuff. Like if their first person studios weren't spending time messing with VR, they would probably have more better games and a more variety of genres in their first party lineup. But they don't because they got them someone working on VR games, which isn't a bad thing. But I'm just saying, um, that all that development resource could be going toward a better racing game, you know what I'm saying, or whatever else. A better third-person shooter. Well, that's Uncharted. Well, you know what? I think Gears of War is still better than Uncharted as far as shooting. So I don't think Uncharted isn't that good for shooting. I think the strongest part of Uncharted is kind of the acting and storytelling, and the cinematics and stuff. It's not so much the gameplay itself. Although the Jeep with the mud and stuff, that was pretty good. But other than that, I'm like, more of it is character stuff, which is good because that's what more games need. That's the thing. We were watching The Incredibles too. I like the special features. That's why I always buy physical discs and stuff. I never buy digital movies, and they come with digital code anyway. So, but I was watching Brad Bird was talking about, and everybody else was kind of like, "Yo, Brad Bird is like crazy. He's crazy, but crazy in a good way, in that he makes movies that are first and foremost about the characters. That's the first thing, because he's like, okay, in this situation, how does this affect the character? What's the motivation? Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh snap! And it's like a little switch went off my brain. Like, oh, that's how you make good stuff with good characters. And that was one of the flaws of Halo 5 Guardians, is that the characterization of, like, not so much Chief. I think Chief was okay, but I think they probably could have done more with Chief. I think Cortana's was a little too I think one-sided, because she went rampant and whatever, and so she's just straight up evil. And I'm like, but wait, but I mean, there should have been kind of a war within Cortana where she's like, oh, but I think there should have still been that. And Locke was kind of just like, so in that, the game failed in that story stuff in Halo 5 because the characters nobody cared. I liked Buck. I liked some of the was it Blue Team, whatever Master Chief's team was. He was pretty good. I mean, well, Buck was on Locke's team. Fred was cool. I like Fred. But I like Locke. I like Locke was okay, but I liked was it Buck? What the heck is what's his name's character in Nathan Fillion's character in Halo 5? I don't remember, but he's like the best character in all of that. And some of the other what was it, Sarah? I forgot the names, but they were, I think it's like a good foundation. It's a good character, but I don't think they did enough with him. So, and like if they would have done kind of like what Reach did, where it was kind of like loyalty missions, but not really. It wasn't a loyalty mission. It was more like, okay, each kind of part of this game, somebody's going to die, basically, because that's what Reach is, basically. So, boom, you died. So, and it gives a little insight in the character, and it gives the player a little bit more of investment in the characters and just before they die or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's cool, yeah. That's why Reach was kind of cool. I mean, not even talking about any of the gameplay mechanics or multiplayer, just like the character / story stuff. And that's where Halo Guardians failed. They really needed to take a page, I guess, from Burr. DevNell44 says Master Chief's team was super duper. Yeah, they were pretty good. But I like Fred because Fred, I think the same voice actor does the what's his name? Marcus Phoenix's son, JD, in Gears of War 4. I think it's the same voice actor. And he kind of sounds like Nathan Fillion, but he's not. He's like, if it was Nathan Fillion's brother, that would be the dude. Yeah, sounds like him enough. But so yeah, so I can see why people didn't like Halo 5 for that reason. But I think it still has the best, or some of the best multiplayer stuff. And that What was the one? It had the huge map when it had all the it was PvPvE basically. So you had like freaking mobs and stuff coming out, and freaking uh what the wardens would come out, and just brutes and freaking everybody would come out, and you're fighting against the other team, and then this freaking other NPs come out, whatever. AIs come out and start messing with you, like, oh man, you got it's. I was like, yo, this is alright. This is alright. So, what I think Infinite's gonna be, I think it's gonna definitely be a return more to, I think the essence of Halo. And like I said, if they get the character stuff right, it'd be cool. But I think it will also be I think they might put a battle royale joint in there. I think that's why they did a new engine, because they're like, yo, we gotta do this battle royale. We have to try, cause the mode I was talking about, where it was pretty big, and I think there was like a crash ship and a freaking couple of bases. There was a lot of, it was a big, and there was a lot of things going on, a lot of players on the screen. I'm like, yeah, okay. So it was like, was it 8v? Was it 8v8 plus AI? So I don't know. I mean, maybe they could do like a 50 player, all every man for himself, like a battle royale. Like, cause 100 is fine, but if the world isn't as, like, Fortnite, it's not as big as the original PUBG map, right? Fortnite, like the new PUBG map, the smaller jungle map, is about the same size as Fortnite. You don't need 100 players. I mean, you can die quicker or you can get kills quicker, but you don't need 100. You can do 80. You can do 60, and it's still cool. So, I think there can be a refinement of the battle royale genre that would accommodate like less players, but be a better experience. Because with less players, then you can, I guess, possibly do more in the world, or have just better performance, if you will. Devno says, long overdue Halo live action movie. That's another whole topic. I don't even know if I want to get into. They've been trying to make a Halo movie for so long. They tried to do the movie studio thing or whatever it was. When the Xbox One launched, that was another issue. Where they were focusing more on TV and all this stuff, and not focusing on games. And Sony was like, "We're all about the games, but we ain't got none. But we're all about the games." Like, okay, here's some games, third party. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like a Halo movie would be cool in the right hands. Like, you know what? If J.J. Abrams made a Halo movie, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because I know that he can make a movie. I'm like, okay, he's a competent filmmaker. His movies are watchable. I would say that he would need to team up with some writers, plural, some good writers. Because, I mean, if you think about, like, Force Awakens, right? That was written by J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan. The dude who wrote Empire Strikes Back, and did he write Return of the Jedi? I don't remember if he wrote Return of the Jedi, but he wrote Empire Strikes Back. Let's be real. That's like the best Star Wars movie. Period. Let's go. Let's go. Blah, blah, blah. But then if you think about the writing in Empire Strikes Back, right? You're like, okay, you got Han Solo, he's doing that, and then all of a sudden, Princess Leia's from Brooklyn or whatever. She has like a New York accent or something. I don't know where she came. You know what I'm saying? Like, first she was British, and now I'm like, oh, okay. She's loosening up. Hey, what are you doing there? Hey, you're a scoundrel. Hey. Okay, she didn't sound like that. But I'm just saying, I'm sure there's a video out there comparing the different accents of Princess Leia. Anyway, you get a good writer. If you get, even if it's not, you know what? I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm glad Neil Blomkamp, whatever his name was, did District 9 instead of, because District 9 was supposed to be Halo, basically. And he just changed it to District 9. So I'm glad that that wasn't. I'm glad he didn't do a Halo, because just watching District, even though District 9 was cool, but that's not because it looked awesome or the effects were cool or anything, even though there was really nothing wrong with it, but it was gritty and grimy. It wasn't Halo. And it was more about the story of the dude turning into alien, basically. Spoilers. So that's what made that movie good, not the the special effects or the creature design or anything else. It was really about that story, the journey of the character, which goes back to character. But I think a Halo movie would have to delve into the history of the Spartan program and how they kidnapped the kids. And so part of it is kind of like a horror flick. Part of it is like, oh, UNSC and Halsey, they're freaking bad people, but they're not bad people because they're the good guys, because the Covenant's the bad people. There's a whole bunch of yin and yang going on in the Halo universe, and by me just speaking words right now, I'm like, yo, that could be crazy dope if handled correctly, if written correctly, and if, of course, performed correctly with the actors and such. Devna says, with all the superhero movies out, i.e. Marvel stuff, I think a Halo movie would give Xbox a well-deserved push forward, in my honest opinion. And he also says D9 was great. Yeah, it was great. It was good. If trying to think, who would make a great writers and cast? I mean, because at this point, they'll get ILM or whoever to make the special effects, or because they have all the models and stuff, so they can get all those models for ILM, and they can do them up or whatever. Or I mean, you know what? Honestly, they could probably just hire Blur, because Blur did they did all of the cutscenes in Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. I don't know about Halo Wars 2. Oh no, they did it in Halo 5 Guardians. They did all the cutscenes in that, and they look good. I'm like, yo, Uncanny Valley is knocking on the door like ding ding ding. Hello, Halo 5 here. I'm like, yo, the graphics, the cutscenes by Blur in Halo 5 are redonkulous, and I'm like, get them to do the special effects, cause I'm like that. I mean, they literally did the first Deadpool movie was Blur. The dude who directed it, what's his name? Miller. Forgot his first name. He's the guy. He's the Blur guy. He's the guy who owns the studio that makes all the stuff. So I'm like, that's what they did. And a lot of that movie is CG. You're like, oh, that's not. No, that's no. All that traffic, the highway, all that stuff was CG. And you remember the first thing they did, to jumpstart it, and then they redid it and made it look better. I'm like, oh man, like the first one you thought it was all CG, and it's like, oh, that looks good. Yeah. But then they did it again, and they did it way better. I'm like, wait a second, how? This is the same studio who did the original pitch which was the highway scene in Deadpool. They redid it, and it's way better. Way better. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, keep it video games. Don't try to go Hollywood Halo like Tiger Claw. Go like, yo, Blur, you've been working with us. You did the Halo Wars. Come on, let's do this movie thing, right? Boom. Get some. I mean, they definitely need to. I would say start with the kidnapping of John Spartan. I would say little Johnny's kidnapping is the first part of the movie. That's where it starts, and it's gonna be like a horror movie basically. So it's like basically, it's. He's a little kid, wherever he's sleeping or whatever. I didn't read the book, so I don't know how they actually kidnapped that fool. But I think it might have been when he was sleeping. That's how they usually got them kids. But he's sleeping. Good night, mommy. Good night, Johnny. See you tomorrow. And he goes to sleep, and then boom, they go in and they like knock out the parents. They trank the parents like parents are knocked out, so they're not gonna wake up. They grab the kid, they shoot him up, right? But how do they do the clone thing? Is the kid missing, and then they find him, and they make a clone, and the clone is basically a dirty copy of him, so they're disabled in some way. That's what they explained in that Halo animated they did. You know what? That Halo animated they did with all those studios, that was the best movie, if you will. That was the best Halo, not a video game property thing that they did. That was it. Because just the different animation studios, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, is if they do that and they kidnap him like and they black and Halo. 29 years later, or whatever, 10 years later, and you got John freaking training. The thing is, they're gonna have to show his face. Oh, the clones don't last long, so they oh yeah, I think that's what. Because I remember in the anime, it was I think it was the I don't know if her name was Sarah, but it was the red Spartan that was in the Dead or Alive. I think it was the same character. So she had the red armor. So they kidnapped her as a little girl. She's a little blonde girl, but she's a woman now, but whatever. And they kidnapped her, and they put a clone. They put her clone there, and the clone was in a wheelchair. She was sick, I guess. So I guess ultimately she did die. The clone died, and she actually, I think she went back to visit her clone or something. It was something weird. I forget what it was. But it's so interesting. Like the whole premise of kidnapping kids, and for this program, and then with the clones, and then the parents don't know, and then think the kid is just sick, and then it dies, and then but they know, and I'm like, yo, that's like mentally like twisting your brain cells, right? And then it's like, but it's for a good cause. You're like, but yeah, but it was like, do the ends justify the means? I mean, yeah, you created the greatest hero in the UNSC, but that's messed up. Devin says the greater good for humanity. Yeah. I mean that's the juxtaposition, I guess, where it's like it's greater good humanity, but kidnapping kids. You're kidnapping, what are they, like 9 years old, 6 years old? They're young kids. So. But that would be a cool. I mean, the opening is already there. It's just like, yo, kids kidnapped. You're like, oh snap, okay. And then do a little training montage or whatever. Not too long, maybe. I mean, if you consider a first act would be kidnapping and training. Second act is I don't want to say first mission. That would be part of the first act. So the first mission coming up to, I guess, the Covenant invasion. And then, problem, solution, second, third act. Devin says they looked at the Spartan 3 program. They were like cannon fodder. Spartan 3s? Oh, yeah, because they were garbage. So the Spartan 2s were Master Chief, right? The Spartan 3s were just dudes, right? Wait, is the Spartan 4s, are they the new ones, like Buck and all those dudes who are just like grown up? They figured out a way to do it with grown ups. So the new Spartans are just they inject them and they become super giant people. I think that's what happened. So they don't need to kidnap kids anymore, which is good, but still they need to explore that. So much good rich stuff in there. And I'm ready for it. It would be dope if they came out with something that would be like a new Star Wars or something. The universe is there. You have the religious overtones or overtones, I would say. With the Covenant and all of the different species coming together. And they're talking. I'm like, this is so good. That's where Bungie gets props because they created this world and it's like so good. Yes, but not as strong as Spartan 2s. Oh, the 4s aren't as strong as Spartan 2s. Devin said, you need to get a job at Xbox. I'm calling Spencer. Nah, I don't think I want to. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. If they say, hey, we're gonna pay you blah blah blah, move up to whatchamacallit, and I'd have to move to, I guess, Washington or whatever. Which, okay, sure. I'd do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm not afraid to change like that. Like, here's a better job, which you might enjoy more better. I'm like, and you're going to pay me more? Yeah. Time to put the house on the market. I'm gone. Definitely. Thank you. I don't think I have ideas. I don't know if they're good or not, but yeah, man. Halo movie, Doom. I think that will work. I mean, just the rough. I mean, like, as far as like the biggest problem they have with Halo is Master Chief. They have to show his face. Now, they kind of showed his face a little bit as a kid which could work because, like, say they show his face up to, they show his face up to the part where they actually inject him, and he becomes a Spartan. And that's another thing about the Spartans, the Spartan 2s, is that a lot of them died when they went to do the procedure. Because they inject all the muscles and the bones and the eyeballs. They inject everything with the needles, the super serum, the Captain America super serum. And not a lot of them survived. And I was like, dang, man. They kidnapped them and they died? I was like, that's messed up. That's so wrong. So it's like I'm trying to kind of okay, if you're watching this movie and you're a parent or whatever, and it's like, dang, you really hate the UNSC. You really hate Halsey because so that can be more of a revelation like towards the end of the movie. So there could be a sequel, I guess. So like the first part, I'd see now I'm conflicting with myself because if you set it up as the kidnapping thing for the Spartan program, then you already have kind of a predisposition to hate the Spartan program because they kidnap the kids, right? So you can't really do that. Devno says, plus some of them mutated. Oh, mutilated? Mutated and were used. Mutated. Some of them mutated used as support roles. Wait, how were they mutated? See, I didn't read any of the books, and I paid a little bit of attention when I watched the movies or the actual cutscenes because my brain's done, so I don't remember a lot of stuff. So I probably have to play through Halo 5 again, but it's probably in the books. I'm pretty sure that stuff is in the books because I read Ghosts of Sparta once, and I totally forgot absolutely everything that happened in that book. And I was so mad because Bridget gave away my book, and I'm like, dang, I'm gonna read Ghosts of Sparta again. Hey, Bridget, where's my book? I'm like, yo, where's my? I don't read a lot. I want to read a book. Where's my book? I think she gave it away. Devno says they become blind, lose a limb, confined to wheelchairs, not come back right. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, that sounds that's another aspect of the Halo universe that they can explore to get the feels, to get the emotion, you know? So I'm like, So that's, I mean, I'm having trouble right now. I'm like, though, how do you make it so the UNSC is like in the good light and that the Master Chief is the good guy without being a tragic figure, but he is a tragic figure, but you don't put that out right away. So do you start him as Master Chief growing up, in combat or whatever, and he gets knocked out or something, he has a flashback, or, do you do the flashback thing, which is kind of a trope? Do you do a misdirect for the UNSC so that when the kidnapping stuff happens, you don't realize that it's Master Chief, and you think it's just, I don't know, some random kidnapping or something? Or they really hate Dr. Halsey. Yeah, and that's another thing. She would definitely be a bad guy, even though she's like kind of a mother figure to John Spartan. John 117, even though she's kind of a mother figure to him, she's still a bad guy because of what she did, but she did what she did because she needed to, because the Covenant were coming. So there's so many, twisty lines to like, okay, how do you navigate the spaghetti bowl in order to come out feeling good about Halo, or feeling good about UNSC, or feeling good about the good guys, and not, for the most part, I mean, and also like the best movies usually have really good bad guys. So how do you make the bad guys really good? How do you empathize with the bad guys? Thanos is one of the greatest bad guys out now because you can empathize with him at a certain extent. You can understand what he's doing, even though he's crazy in his ideology in a way. You still understand it. So you say, oh, yeah, that makes sense, but that's crazy. Devno says, one parent became a terrorist because he believed that the Gov kidnapped his daughter, and it was Naomi who later is sent to kill her own father. So many, oh, wow, angles, this could, wow, play out. I didn't know that. That's crazy. That right there that right there is, that's like an episode. See, so that's another thing. I mean, Halo could easily be an episodic Netflix or whatever type of movie, type of show. Let's say. I think it would do better as a movie, as far as a property, as a a grand, like if the Transformers could be giant and successful. Well, okay. You know what? I take that back, because Transformers is catering to certain audiences around the world, and that's why it's successful, not because they're good movies. But Halo has the potential to be super great. It's there. It just basically what Devinel's saying in chat, Devinel4, in Twitch chat, and what I've remembered, it can be great. Let's make Halo great again. It could be so good. Just that with the freaking Naomi going back and get to kill her own father because it's terror. Yeah, that's the twist. I mean, you just spoiled it for me. Thanks. No, I'm just playing. But that's one thing. I mean, and even though that exists, that's just an example of what can exist because of the UNSC Spartan 2 program. How that happened and the history of that and who was involved. And, maybe there's a splinter group going out to kill all these people who are involved with kidnapping these kids. There's so many different things that you can implement into the Halo universe besides the Covenant stuff. And even on the Covenant side, you still have the different factions. You have the Grunts, and you have the Elites, and you have the Brutes, and you have the other guys in the floaty chairs. And then you have the Prometheans. It's getting crazy. There's so much. But also, it could get messy. It could get messy real quick. Devino says, I forgot which book is in, but darn it, didn't finish it. Transformers. I just want to see Starscream as an F-14. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just messing with you, Dev, now. I think I mean, I've seen the trailers, and people keep saying that's not Starscream in the trailers, and I'm like, that looks like Starscream. That looks just like Starscream with the thing and the colors. I'm like, that looks like Starscream. I'm sorry. But I think it's a triple changer or something. So I was like, whatever, man. I wish it was Starscream, too. I mean, they're going back to Generation 1, basically. The Generation 1 design. You got Bumblebee as a bug. You got Optimus Prime as a whatever truck that was. I can't remember. Not a Peterbilt, because that's what he is now. He used to flat face. So, yeah. I mean, Megatron can't be a gun, because that would be stupid. I think that's one of the main problems with Transformers is that Megatron was a little ass gun. Well, he wasn't little. He was small enough to fit into Starscream's hand. G1 was great, says Devin. Yeah, G1 was great. It had its issues. It had its issues, but this is to sell toys. So we have nostalgia, but they could have capitalized. They could have capitalized on the nostalgia. I hope Bumblebee will do that more than the other Transformers did. But I wish they would have Bumblebee talk. Because as it is now, I don't think he does. Which is, I think he should talk. I think they should be like, okay, he talks now, but he gets injured between Bumblebee and the first Transformers, which is 30 years? Whatever the timeline is in real time, but make him go back to Cybertron, get beat up, his voice module is destroyed, and then he comes back, and that's what was up. That's easy. I mean, come on, son. Let him talk. Devno says, plus, why can't most Autobots fly other than triple changes? Bumblebee voice by Samuel Jackson. No, that would be bad. That would be funny, but that would be bad. But in the first cartoon, they did fly. I think in the first episode, they flew. I was like, huh? Okay. And there wouldn't be a reason why they wouldn't fly. It was just a thing that they did. It makes no sense. They're Transformers. I'm sure that they could transform a little rocket pack or something in their back end. Doesn't that make sense? They can literally be something. Scan a flying something. Optimus Prime could scan a jet and be a flying Optimus Prime. Sure, he could do that. That's part of what they are. Makes no sense. It's just, Optimus Prime is always a truck. Don't they have spy? They had not the triple changes, but I thought they had spy Decepticon and Autobots where they would the thing would flip, the insignia, because they would be like, I'm a Decepticon. They would flip around. I'm really an Autobot. Ha ha. Right? I think I remember that. Do that where you could have a library of different scanned what scanned not diagrams but scanned designs like Bumblebee, like say Bumblebee was a Autobot spy, right? So he could scan, he'd be the bug, then he could be like a jet plane. Well, I guess it would depend on size. So he'd be a bug, then he'd be something else, like a couple different vehicles, right? So he could be a helicopter, and he could be a bug, and he could be whatever, a boat, you know. So he could be a triple changer or whatever, quadruple changer. But he could be a spy also, you know. I'm a Decepticon. But I guess he would always transform into a similar robot shape, so it wouldn't make any sense. And their eyes are blue. That's the one thing I always Devin says, "Oh, Robotech. Yes, wasn't Starscream stolen from?" No, that was Jetfire. Was the Robotech. It was it was funny because I think this is what happened. It was a toy, right? So I guess Hasbro or the cartoon, whatever, they said we need Jetfire. So they took the actual toy from Japan, not the Jetfire toy, the actual Robotech toy, and they re-skinned it for Transformers, basically, and they added some plastic armors and stuff on it, which I had, and I threw them away. I literally remember I put them in the green thing, and I said, and I just threw them away. I was like, why would I do that? Because I'm a stupid kid. But I used to have the red armor with all, and I threw it all away. Dumb. Anyway, yes, it was based off the Robotech. The toys are literally exactly the same. So if you get a Japanese Robotech toy and the Jetfire, I have a Jetfire somewhere. The Jetfire Transformer is the same thing, except different color, different stickers, I would say, and different. There's some colors and stuff. Well, is it? I think it's white, and yeah, there's some red on it. So it's the red and white. But yeah, that was Jetfire. Starscream was a specific jet. Like I said, I guess it was the F-14. No, it wasn't the F-14 Tomcat. It was what was Starscream? Starscream wasn't an F-14. He was a different. Because the F-14 was the G.I. Joe. I used to have one of the big toys. The jet. I forgot. I guess it was called the Tomahawk. No, that was the helicopter. What was the jet from G.I. Joe called? I don't remember. But that was the G.I. Joe jet. And the Afterburner jet from the video game Afterburner. That's the F-14 Tomcat. Devin says, I have the Robotech Fortress as a model that I have to put together. You have to put together. Ugh, that sounds like fun. I used to like model making, but I think I like it because of the fumes. Now, yeah, that glue is. But I guess when I retire and maybe when I stop doing this show like this, or maybe I'll just do some streams and I'll just set up the camera and just sit there for hours and glue some stuff together. But I haven't built a model in so long. The last model I built was the Millennium Falcon. It was pretty big. It's about this big. And I didn't take care of it. I didn't really paint it. I didn't weather it. I didn't do anything. I have most of it. So what I plan to do, I still have it in. I think it's in the garage in the Tupperware somewhere. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna try to kit bash it back together and fix it up. What I might do is actually kit bash it so that it looks more like the Solo Millennium Falcon, because I don't think they have they probably have a giant version of it, but I'm not spending. I think it's probably $60-$70, but I think that's actually for the smaller version. The size of mine is really big, so I'm like, Devnell says I would make them then burn them up. I was a weird kid. It's don't burn the plastic. You get brain damage when you smoke the fumes. Burning plastic is not a good smell. Don't. I mean, if you just like, yeah, that's understandable, but burning them? Come on, man. Don't do that. Although, if you put like a firecracker, that'd be kind of cool. But now it would be cool because you put a slow motion camera on it and be like, it's like, I love watching slow motion videos. Slow mo guys, all that stuff. Anything slow motion. But slow mo guys is good. Hello. Because they get like real close and like, bubbles. Oh, little droplets and stuff. So good. Anyway, I think we covered most. I didn't even talk about XO18 that much, but I don't think there was that much. There's a lot of new Game Pass games, 16 Game Pass games coming out in Game Pass. Whatchamacallit? Crackdown, the first Crackdown is for free on Xbox right now until I think it's a week from now. So grab that if you have an Xbox. Grab a free Crackdown. Get that. I might play that a little later just to get a refresh on it. What else? There's a couple of games in the Game Pass that are coming up that I was like, ooh, I'm gonna play that. Ooh. There's this one game called Something Bastards. I forgot what it's called. It's like cell shaded first person, and it's by the makers of BioShock and something else. System Shock and BioShock. They made this game. I was like, oh, okay. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's like the art style is really like it's cell shaded, but it's first person. I'm like, yo, this mad colorful and it looks kind of funny, and it's like, oh, okay. I think and that's Game Pass. So I'm like, I'm in there, boy. Ori, Will-O the Wisp, all those games are coming. So it's a good look for Game Pass as it stands. So I'm glad I got it. What else is the new studio? So that's cool too. So we'll get some more games. So, but like I mean, going back to the PlayStation versus Xbox as far as games go, moving forward, I didn't get to this, but moving forward, I think Xbox has a little bit more to look forward to because it's unknown. You know, Sony did what Sony did, like towards the beginning of this generation. They let it all out. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. 3 years later, oh, now we get the game, right? Been waiting for forever for the games. Now you get them. Like, oh yeah, I got them now. And then, oh, they're so great because we've been starving for them for so long. Thank you, Sony. You're the best, right? But Microsoft, Xbox, they're like, we got some studios. They're making some stuff. Stay tuned. So I'm like, all right, cool. So it's like, it's always something like, oh, yeah. Don't get, oh, yeah. Well, what you got, Playground Game? What you got? They made nothing but, dude, Playground Games has only made Forza Horizon games, and they've all been great. The next one after the next one after the next one after the next one, awesome games. It's crazy. But anyway. I'm done. It's 9 o'clock. I'm tired. My throat is dry. Wait. I noticed something wrong with my brain. I can't even drink right. I have a drinking problem. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Devnell, good to see you. Once again, I appreciate you hanging out, coming through. Kaijudo, you too. Billy Ock, DC Nate, Tiger Claw, Sub Z, everybody in chat. Who else is in chat? Burr. Hey Jude. Oh, he's playing Alien. Should play. Nux Sonic, Malcolm Owen, Oblivious Harmony. I can't read. Yo, Zappy, what's up? Everybody else who's in chat. Appreciate y'all. There's a lot of people in chat. A lot aren't. Yes, chat. But whatever. But I appreciate you hanging out, everybody. I'm gonna bounce, and I still haven't figured out this stuff. I've been building like a cement patio step thing here, and my brain hurts, body hurts. It's still not done, so I gotta work on that this week. So I haven't been able to play a lot of games and stuff, and plus my in-laws was in, and my birthday was yesterday, so just chilling. Appreciate y'all and everything. I don't know what else to say. I'm done. Get my music back. Boom, da na 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 da na na da don't. Where is it? Wait, what happened to? Did I? Oh, I guess I closed. Da na 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 da na. Boom. Pull it up again. Whoa, 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 my friend. Hello. I'm not gonna play spontaneous again. Da na 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 da na 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 na. How about this one? Feels so good to be a Crooklyn Dodger. What's happening with rerunning Roger? Something on the block. Now I'm on the 10-point top. I don't remember. Happy birthday, my son. Happy birthday, as my son had his yesterday. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm representing Brownsville. I'm sorry. Uh oh, Ripo 13. Oh, cool. Happy birthday to your son. That's cool. Dope. That's a good age. I know it sounds like crap. Slide. Habituate them, call them. Habituate them. Anyway, appreciate you hanging out, Dev. Everybody in Discord. Yeah, that's it. I'm a bounce now. I'm gonna turn this down because Ella. But wait, but I can't let you in. Whoa. You know what's cool about this? Is that Q-Tip? It says produced by Tribe Called Quest, right? I gotta fly in it. Golly, it's not a fly. It's like a mosquito. But Q-Tip did all the beats, did all the tracks for Tribe Called Quest. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but I found that out relatively recently. Actually, when he went solo, that's when I found out. But I was like, oh, I always thought the DJ made the beats, but nope. So Q-Tip was kind of like the creative brains of Tribe Called Quest. But you know, Phife Dawg, rest in peace. He was still, you know, he's part of the essence of it. But when you see tracks like this, excuse me, and this is produced by Tribe Called Quest, is Q-Tip basically. But I give him props because he gives credit to his whole group. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. You know what I mean? But this is one of my favorite beats. I got the LP of this. I think I got two copies, but it's got the instrumental on it. I just be like, And the thing about how Q-Tip produces is he uses all that samples basically. So the bass line's a sample, the drums, all that stuff is samples. You know, but he's just good at putting it all together. So I mean, I don't hate him for that. But I wish that he could be a little bit more musical. But I just like the sound of it because it's just like the sound of sampled jazz slapped together for hip hop. That's just me. So I grew up on it, and I was like, oh shoot, this is dope. But anyway, I'm out. Tilt the weight. The words. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's black. Oh. It's the universe. Hot peas and butter, brother. Buck. I need a see you later screen. I gotta get one of those. I gotta get one. I just gotta make it and then put it in one of my scenes there. That'll be scene 3 there. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm gonna leave now. Brooklyn Dodger. What's happening? Marie running Roger. The block. And Dwayne was a cop. Family and Ruben King K. That's a good verse. Alright. To the way, y'all. Straight from Brooklyn. Better know the Brooklyn. From Brooklyn. Better know.